Sports, 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 sports.
Hey there, sports fans. Welcome to Sportsball, part of the SPDM Crew podcast. We talk about sports-related topics, but we focus on you, the fan, and what you like, whether it's a sport, team, event, athlete, or topic related to sports. Hey there, sports fans. Welcome to Sportsball, part of the SPDM Crew podcast. We talk about sports-related topics, but we focus on you, the fan, and what you like, whether it's a sport, team, event, athlete, or sports-related event. It's the day before election day, and it's always an awkward time to talk about sports because there's unfortunately bigger fish to fry. My fantasy football teams both won this week, thankfully. Um, and it's been a great weekend of football with a lot of interesting stuff happening. Except if you're a Bears fan, which it was a pretty miserable experience being a Bears fan. But the thing that I cannot stop thinking about when it comes to football right now is a team that's on the bye week, and that's the San Francisco 49ers. Because um, last week, when the 49ers played in a Sunday night football game, Nick Bosa chimes in during a Brock Purdy interview where they're interviewing the stars of the game and just flashes a Make America Great hat in there and just interrupts the interview. Look, I'm not one of those people who's going to pretend that, you know, freedom of expression and freedom of speech aren't a thing, because they definitely are. And I can appreciate the fact that he's willing to get up there to, interrupt an interview, flash his MAGA hat, and that's really about it. Um, what I do struggle with a little bit is two things with this. Is that one, Nick Bosa didn't want to talk about it afterwards when he was given a platform during a press conference of his. And that to me is just ludicrous. It is absolutely ludicrous for Nick Bosa to pull a stunt like that and to not want to talk about it in a way is like, oh, there's not the time to talk about it. I'm like, no, this is the perfect time to talk about it, because you interrupted interview for one of your teammates just so that you could make a political stand on something. And if you weren't looking to make a political stand, then you just did it just to be an asshole to your teammates. So I that's really frustrating, and I've been thinking about that ever since it happened. Because if if Nick Bosa had the guts to actually get up, on live camera while three of his teammates were being interviewed after, the 49ers got a win, they he should have the guts to actually get up in front of the press and face some of the questions that did come his way. Um, it just kind of makes me scratch my head, like, why'd you do it in the first place? If you weren't looking for attention, if you didn't want to talk about it. So that was just a tad bit frustrating. What even is more frustrating to me is the total lack of follow through and just the total silence from the NFL on this. Is that, especially, and like even like the 49ers to some extent or another, that, hey, we value and appreciate everyone's freedom of expression. There's a time and a place to do that, and especially where in San Francisco, Colin Kaepernick lost his career protesting something that was happening, where people were like, you can't kneel during the national anthem. It's just totally disrespectful for the troops," even though that's not what he's protesting at all. He's protesting police brutality, and that's the way that he chose to protest, and he got ripped shreds for it. And he just I don't understand how the NFL is just, there. Yes, I do concede that the NFL is investigating this. Like, that's fine. And at most, what they're gonna do is just like maybe slap him on the wrist, give him a fine or what have you. But if I was on the 49ers, I would just be like, dude, why'd you do that? Like, why did you have to interrupt three of our players? who are being interviewed, and I don't understand why you decided to do that. And for all those people who are out there saying that, sports is not the place for politics and, to take stance on things. Yes, it is. Like, just plain and simple, yes, it is. Because we as a society listen to what athletes and, celebrities and everything like that, what they have to say, because they have, we give our money to watch their movies or to, go watch them perform or play their sport or what have you. So we take into account the things that they have to say. So I'm not going to sit here and say that anybody in this position needs to just shut up or dribble or anything like that. If they've got something to say, then say it. And more importantly, back it up. And that's the thing about Nick Bosa that's just the most frustrating, is that he took a stand on something and then he just immediately retreated from it. So if Nick Bosa were to get out there, kind of explain what he's thinking about, like, say what you will about Harrison Butker, like, I don't agree with his views at all, but he's sticking by them at least. And in fact, he's doubling down on them. So, like, good for you for standing up for your beliefs, even though I don't agree with a lot of, what you believe, but at least you're standing up for them. And that's something that at least Nick Bosa is not doing right now. So, um, on this day, which this is going to get released on election day, where we as a collective country are asking ourselves, are we ready for what's to come from this? Is this grand experiment of America ready for the results of this upcoming election? We shall see, but I think this is a consequential time for this country, but it's also a consequential time for the NFL, who, you know, you've got Nick Bosa, who, interrupted an interview, made a political stance on something, and that's something that the NFL specifically said that they don't want people to do. So your move, NFL. Let's see what you have for this, and let's see what your investigation turns up, and let's see if you actually hold someone accountable in a way that is semi-palatable. So just quick episode tonight. That's going to do it for this episode of Sportsball. Be sure to like, rate, and subscribe to anything and everything SPDM Crew wherever you get your podcast. Join us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, X, Threads, YouTube, and Blue Sky at SPDM Crew. Check out our website, soon to be out, at spdmcrew.com. Shout out to HiFlyer Creative Studios for making our awesome logo. Greatly appreciate their support. And if you have any marketing, logo, or brand standard needs, contact them at HiFlyerCreative.com. If you've got a podcast idea or you're interested in being part of the SPDM Crew as a guest or collaborating, email us at spdmcrew@gmail.com. Until next time, pain heals, chick stick scars, glory lasts forever. That's going to do it for this episode of Sportsball. Be sure to like, rate, and subscribe to anything and everything SPDM Crew wherever you get your podcast. Join us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, X, Threads, YouTube, and Blue Sky at SPDM Crew. Check out our website, soon to be out, at spdmcrew.com. Shout out to HiFlyer Creative Studios for making our awesome logo. Greatly appreciate their support. And if you have any marketing, logo, or brand standard needs, contact them at HiFlyerCreative.com. If you've got a podcast idea or you're interested in being part of the SPDM Crew as a guest or interested in collaborating, email us at spdmcrew@gmail.com. Until next time, pain heals, chick stick scars, glory lasts forever.